Hello, you now have audio. Sorry about that. Hello and welcome to the Daily Space for today, June 27th, 2019. I am coming to you live from the Miramont Indian Wells Resort in California. It is hot, it is dry, there are things to take photos of, but all because I'm in a resort doesn't mean the science won't go on. But it does mean the science goes on with an amazing live audience. I have with me some folks that you well know. Sitting in the front row is Bill Nash himself. Can someone please give him a shout out? We also have from our community here at CosmoQuest, Michael Mayer and Keeper of Maps, as well as many new faces that we hope will become new known usernames in our audience. And I am here to let all of you know what is new and to put science in your brains. So let's transition over to the science. Today we have news of stars. Now they say that the good die young, or at least Billy Joel says the good die young. But in science, well, we take a different, less moralistic approach, and physics says it's the giants that die young. In fact, the biggest stars are the ones that burn through their fuel, burn through themselves the fastest. These massive stars quickly die, burning out and becoming white dwarfs, neutron stars, sometimes just exploding and leaving behind nothing at all. So when astronomers spot red giant stars in star clusters that otherwise only have smaller stars left over, this creates a question of how. Well, we've long theorized that these stragglers might be due to, well, small stars merging together, colliding together, somehow otherwise going from two stars to one. And now, scientists working at the Max Planck Institute for Solar System Research have confirmed this theory. By studying the atomic elements of carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen in a bunch of these, well, misplaced red giant stars, they were able to determine that the compositions of these stars match what you would expect from small stars that formed 10 billion years ago. This means that these massive stars are actually two small stars that came together through whatever means that stars come together, and it probably wasn't all that romantic. And what was left after the merger got reborn into these new red giant stars. So this is kind of awesome and unbelievable, and not the only unbelievable thing that we'll see today. Speaking of the impossible, over the weekend, my Twitter feed, my Discord channel, both of them were filled with news of this asteroid that was predicted to be coming to hit the Earth. And a lot of you were like, do we believe this? Is this real? And I, for one, was otherwise occupied and decided to just let the asteroids fall where they would. And they did. It turns out that astronomers from the University of Hawaii, using the Atlas Survey telescopes as well as pan-stars, were able to take a series of images of a 4-meter across, I'm going to call it a rock, that was about 500,000 kilometers away when they started imaging it. And throughout the night, they captured enough images of it moving through the sky that they were able to predict that it might just be incoming. And that potential for collision was confirmed by something I had never heard of before: infrasound detections. This is where they were looking at how the shock waves interacted with our own Earth's atmosphere. And they also did radar measurements. And when they were done combining all this data from all these different instruments, they were able to say exactly where this asteroid, this rock 4 meters across, was likely to hit. But hit is the wrong word. It actually burned up in the atmosphere. But nonetheless, this is all so cool. They did it. According to the press release from the Institute for Astronomy at the University of Hawaii, Nexrad weather radar in San Juan, Puerto Rico, also detected this rock, asteroid 2019 MO, that's me injecting that, 2019 MO, as it burnt up in the atmosphere and pinpointed the entry location over the ocean. This occurred about 380 kilometers south of San Juan, closely corresponding to the infrasound location. Now, we've been building all of these telescopes, Pan-STARRS, Atlas, to try and protect our own planet from incoming space rocks. And this is the first time that we've really had this full suite up and running and giving us, well, that here it comes information that we were looking at. And this is also showing that this is one heck of a summer for Nexrad radar. We have seen detections of all the normal stuff, storms, tornadoes, but related to astronomy, we've seen the ladybug invasion that occurs at all the high altitude astronomical sites, and now an incoming space rock, all appearing as part of the weather. Okay, on to more news of astronomers detecting the remarkable. We have a new image from the Atacama Large Millimeter Array, otherwise known as ALMA. Shown here in millimeter wavelengths is an image of TW Hydrae, a young star that is located 194 light years away from Earth. Now, this is a system that we've seen before, just at lower resolutions with ALMA. It is what we think might be the closest young star in the process of forming planets in a disk around it. Earlier lower resolution images were able to show us that this disk of gas and dust around TW Hydrae has concentric dark rings within the disk. And now, with more sensitive, higher resolution images, we're able to see a concentration of light that points to a place where a large planet may be forming. But this image otherwise doesn't match expectations pretty much at all. It just, yeah, the blob of light we're seeing, it's not symmetric. And there's only one. And if planets are forming, we kind of expected to see more of these. If it's just an eddy in the gas and dust spiraling around the star, we would also expect to see more of these. So yeah, this goes to show once again that if someone tells you they know in detail how planets form, they are lying. We do not know how planets are forming in detail. The real universe is proving to be so much weirder than anything we ever imagined. But sometimes astronomers are pretty weird. And this morning I had one press release telling me that I had a Warhol series of images of the whirlpool galaxy. For those of you who have telescopes who like to do astroimaging, this may be one of the best times of the year for hunting for galaxies. My favorite and one of my first large targets with a telescope is M51, the whirlpool galaxy. And shown in this new series of images is an old image on the left that is a visible light image that was taken at Kitt Peak National Observatory. To the right, second from the left in this image, is a combination of that visible light image as well as images that were taken in micron length wavelengths of light using the Spitzer Space Telescope. And the two images furthest to the right are images taken strictly with the Spitzer Space Telescope. This Warhol Style lineup of galaxies, well, of a galaxy in different wavelengths of light, is to show us how we can only learn certain information about the gas, the dust, the stars, all the things that make up a galaxy by looking in different parts of the electromagnetic spectrum. It's in the combination of all of this information that we're able to understand how all of these different materials come together, how stars form, where stars go to die. And this just goes to show that if we really want to understand our universe, we can't just use the colors that our eyes see. We need to take advantage of that entire electromagnetic spectrum. Basically, we need to see all the colors of the rainbow and all the colors beyond the rainbow. So let's get at it. It's a pretty universe out there, and it's a pretty scientific universe out there. And that's all the science I have for today. Now, I will hang around and answer your questions, both yours out there on the internet, and I also have a live audience here in the room with me who may voice their questions out loud. While you think of your questions and type them in, those of you typing, I'm going to remind you to please at CosmoQuest X so I can find your questions in the chat. And while you type those in, I'm going to remind all of you that this is a production of the Planetary Science Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to exploring our solar system. We are here sponsored by you, supported by you. And I use both those words because your money is awesome. Your money lets me pay the staff that we have a living wage to put together all the content you see. The Daily Space actually takes about 4 hours of effort every day between the script writing, the recording, the editing to get it up on YouTube, and pushing it out to our Patreons. Now, outside of that, your help is also of so much importance to us. You guys can get out there and promote the show to new audiences. Some of you are out there modding, which really, I can't mod and talk and look at the camera all at the same time. That is so necessary. There's so many things you can do that are of so much value that aren't money. So thank you all for all the support you're able to provide us. We are here most Mondays through Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. That is 6 p.m. London time. But next week we are not here. Next week we are going on vacation, although our instro has threatened to stream for us. And totally, Dave, you would be my hero if you did that. Tell me what you need. I said there's multiple ways you can support us. Okay, so I'm going to scroll through and see what questions you have to ask. I am going all the way up to the top, and I'm going to start by saying thank you for the single bits as you tried to get my attention. I failed. I am sorry. I made a point of making sure my mic was not physically muted. I did not make a point of making sure that my computer was using the correct mic. Technology. Thank you. I love all of the attempts to get my attention. I failed. I'm sorry. And there's more bits coming in, and wow, it's all dangling. Thank you, Keeper of Maps, who's in the room. Thank you. Hello, Open Cage. I'm not sure I've seen your name before. Trekker Kev, I promise no Vogon poetry will be harmed or celebrated on this particular Twitch stream. There, I figured out everything. Thank you all for your patience. So the question is, how is Joshua Tree National Park? I have no idea. The entire room just lasted laughing. I left my house yesterday at 7:30 in the morning, intending to make it to California by 1:30 after lunch and make it here in time to go to Joshua Tree to go hug a tree while they're still there. But no, I'm going to be blogging the entire stream of texts that I sent Keeper of Maps and Michael Mayer, because it's actually quite humorous in retrospect. I'm not going to go into it now. Yeah, I'm told it was beautiful. I've seen some of the pictures. I'm hoping I'll be allowed to share some of them with you. It is everything I ever hoped for, according to other people. Okay. Yeah, we will see. Okay, let's see what other questions we have. I'm scrolling. Thank you, Refsmat, for subscribing at Tier 1. Thank you so much. Looking to see. Oh, I've been handed pictures. I will be able to show you pictures tomorrow. Thank you, Planetary Pan, for subbing for 4 months on Twitch Prime. You guys can also ask questions.
How many rocks are there?
Okay, so the question is, how many rocks are there? And the answer is all of them. All of them. This is actually a joke about Bennu mappers, bennu.cosmoquest.com. We are in the process of mapping out, org, bennu.cosmoquest.org. We are in the process of trying to map out the rocks and boulders and boulders and rocks and more boulders on the rubble pile that is the asteroid Bennu, as we desperately try and find a safe place to put down our spacecraft and grab a soil sample in a touch and go thievery of the geologic kind. We only have 12 more days to map this world, so please do everything you can. I will be reaching out to everyone I know in social media and begging them for a promotion later today. And if you can help, oh my God, thank you for all your help. Please map rocks. Please map rocks. All of them. All of them. Last I looked, you had mapped over 5 million objects. Okay, Henny's Vorverb asks, what wavelengths are good for learning what certain things in astronomy? So if you want to figure out where all the hot gas is, such as gas compressed in the high density regions in the hearts of galaxy clusters, look in the X-ray. If you want to find the gas that is compressed and shocked by burping black holes, look in the X-ray. If you want to find things exploding violently, gamma rays are your friend. If you want to find just nice, warm, happy planets, infrared. Warm dust, warm gas, infrared. If you want to find the places where planets are forming, go further out into the millimeter. And if you want to see the cold gas that makes up the outer arms of galaxies and lurks between the stars, that's where you go all the way out in the radio. And 20 centimeter, well, that's where hydrogen does its, well, spin flip. So all the wavelengths for all the things. So Bill Nash asks, how is Bennu Mappers going? Do you anticipate using that data to train machine learning models to validate and eventually automate mapping? Not Bennu's data. So one of the things that we're learning about machine learning is, and that actually is a sentence that's valid, the things that we're learning about how machines learn is you have to train them from scratch for every new object, and you need millions of images to train them. And Bennu is tiny. It's 0.5 kilometer across, which seems big, but compared to like the moon, it's not. And its surface is so expletive, diverse expletive. And so this is not the kind of thing that the algorithms that are cutting edge today really have the ability to learn how to map out. It's also weird because the rocks aren't all the same texture. Some are shiny, some have weird stripy bits on them. It's just not a good candidate. Now, we are working on learning how to do machine learning with other worlds that are bigger and we have more images. So this is where things like our other mapper projects matter so much. Okay, scrolling through your questions to see what else is in here. Thank you, Keeper of Maps, for invoking Fenmill. Okay, I'm not sure why you did that. And we are also invoking the Space Launch System mobile launcher. I don't know Kerbal01 why you're linking to that. Let me look. Clicking on the link, not regretting my actions. Time lapse of mobile launcher rolling out to the pad today. That is cool. Let me see if I can do the thing and get it on screen. I sort of can. Yes, I can. Okay, so Here is the time lapse that was linked to of the mobile launcher rolling out. This is an image from today. So Annie has been doing a variety of streams related to these spacecraft. She is really the spacecraft expert around here. I tend to stick more to the science. Spacecraft are kind of dead to me until they're fully functional. I had one I needed blow up or failed to function when I was a grad student, and I have been scarred. So I leave pre-launch stuff to her. Yes, we have a question in the audience.
Yes, getting back to May,
Uh-huh.
the spacecraft that landed on Eros, was it just lucky or they just didn't care about what happened to it?
So the question was, the spacecraft that landed on Eris, was it just lucky or did they no longer care? I'm trying to remember the name of that spacecraft and I'm failing. So the spacecraft they landed on, the little asteroid Eros, it went out, it did its mapping job, it was running out of fuel, and they decided, let's try. And they'd done a pretty good image, a pretty good job imaging, and Eros, unlike Bennu, is not a rubble pile. It looks kind of like a peanut to me. Not a peanut, a cashew rather. And its surface has some nice smooth areas, and it was easy in the vastness of Eros and its smooth glory to find a fairly safe place to just gently touch down. And it just worked. Bennu. We did not expect this. This was not what we wanted. So yeah, there's that. Okay, going back to the chat. So who else is there? Keeper of Maps is here, Bill Nash is here, Michael Mayer is here, Planetary Pan is here, and a whole bunch of people whose chat usernames I don't know yet. But is there anyone who would object to being on camera? Okay, I'm going to try and spin the camera. Let's see how this goes. So there's Keeper right there. Michael is sitting next to me, and there is me again. Okay, I love the fact that I am not using my laptop's camera right now. Okay, so yeah, we have a live audience. This is the All-Star Star Party. Skylius is also out here, as well as John Michael Gauthier from YouTube. Paul Matt Sutter, who you know from all the places. It's a good crowd. Oh, Fraser will be here later. He's not here yet. His daughter, Chloe, if you're out there, congratulations on graduating. Okay. Let's see. Veronica Cure is asking, are you going to throw bits at the audience? You know.
I did wonder whether we would have
I should go out and get some hard candy, because I'm not going to throw Cheerios at these people, but I used to throw hard candy at my students when they got the right answers. So maybe, I don't know. I like the way everyone's like, yes, throw things at the audience. Ooh, another rock support group. That would be awesome. So Binary Blaze in the chat is our co-host Annie Wilson here on this channel. And she has been doing some amazing work helping people map rocks. So Susie Murph says hi to everyone in the room, and more bits are coming in. I can't see who it is yet because it's cut off. I will get there. So Kerbal asks, which of the two New Frontiers 4 proposals do you like? Oh man, Titan, please. Titan. And other than that, I'm going to be agnostic. But Titan, please. Let's see what else is in here. So Falco Online says, if all the rocks in Bennu are so diverse, is a sample of the surface going to be useful? What if you scoop up only a partial type of the available material? So this is a problem now, no matter where we go. But we actually, in theory, have the capacity to grab 3 different samples of soil from the surface. The question is, do we want to endanger the spacecraft? Because every time you go down to the surface, you are endangering the spacecraft. So do we want to do it 3 times? I can't tell you the answer. Now, the nice thing about grabbing a soil sample is they're usually made up of crushed rock and thus more representative of what surrounds them. And since we're finding the kinds of rocks in kind of a fairly random mixture on the surface with bright rocks, dark rocks, stripy rocks, almost everywhere, hopefully that soil would be a representative sample, but what you're saying is always a concern. I can go out in my backyard, and if I grab the wrong section, you will think we have amazingly rich, well aerated soil, and no, I just grabbed it from my garden. Yeah, so site selection matters. Rociante will save us all. Yes, if only. Okay, Rukato Presents is sending me a link to a heart-shaped rock spotted on Bennu. Let me see if I can. I've been rickrolled. I was rickrolled. I'm.
Still funny.
I was rickrolled. Well played. Well played. Okay, continuing on. Thank you, Bloom Bottle, for the bits with the dog ears. I missed my doggos this week. So, scrolling. Okay, so I seem to have made it through all of. Nope, I have another question coming in live. Go ahead.
That rock that they were tracking,
Yeah.
when was it?
So that was MO 2019. It was detected on June 22nd, and it was later that day that it came in. It was detected when it was just beyond the moon. 500 million miles out. Yes?
Was it part of the Beta Taurus?
So the question is, was it part of the Beta Taurids? They may know, I do not. Yeah, sorry. Other questions, live audience?
Are there resources or sites like last night, for example, at Joshua Tree, we saw a really long streaker that was moving across like a giant sky. If we wanted to find out like where that one was or how big it was, are there resources out there tracking that much?
So the question was coming in from Bill Nash. If you see a really bright long streak across the sky, this is typically a bolide, is there a place that you can go to figure out what it was that you saw? And do you have an answer, Planetary Pan?
I do. There's an American Meteor Society has amsmeteors.org. I think that's the correct one. I'm doing that off the top of my head. And you can report sightings and see what other people have reported there. So if a lot of people saw it, there'll be a lot more data. So if you see things like that, it's a great place to go report meteors, and then we can figure out where they came from.
So the American the one that's rocks and not weather society, is the place to go, and it's the place to both report and find out. And weathermen, often your local weatherman will know these things because, as I pointed out, they sometimes show up on Nexrad radar, and also people just call the local news station and send in their dash cam videos. Now, while it's not here in the United States, down in Australia, they actually have a network of citizen scientists who have DSLR cameras set up just to try and correlate in on these, well, falling rocks and try and figure out where they landed so that they can go out and collect the samples. So yeah, it varies from nation to nation. In Australia, you're currently the best positioned to know what happened in your sky. So Henny is asking, are people's name tags or just their usernames? I don't know. I know Skylius is Skylius here. So far, it is names. Okay, so I'm being told it's names. I have markers and Sharpies and will be encouraging people to put both. But that's me, and I won't force anyone. Okay, so yeah, that's what we think we have for today. And tomorrow I will be returning live from the Miramont Indian Wells Spa and Resort here in, oh my God, it's hot, California. I will have images taken by some of the amazing photographers that are on this trip, and maybe one or two of my own. I'm hoping to get tutelage on how to better image the sky. So we will be back, and we will also have all that is new in space and astronomy as we continue our mission to put science in your brains. So once again, this has been a production of the Planetary Science Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the exploration of our solar system and beyond. Now, there are some rocket launches up and coming because those rockets just keep flying. And Annie is going to be bringing those to you live. Now, rocket launches tend to move around in time. Watch on Discord, watch on Twitch. Watch on Twitter. We will try and keep you up to date on when those launches will be happening. And I'm hearing there will be a Bennu support stream beforehand. So I am now going to, as we always do, try to awkwardly roll the credits. That was not the correct button to press. I said I was going to do it awkwardly. There we go. So as a reminder, it's one world with one sky that we all share. And wherever you are in the world, have a fabulous morning, evening. We're going to be rating Oh Bother. Have a fabulous morning, evening, or afternoon. And I'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye.